Now that we've had a play around with some of these shapes, let's create a new folder within our tutorial project, and this one's going to be called Small Table Project. If I click into this, this is now the active folder, and if I create a new design, so there's my untitled file here, and we hit save, that'll enable me to call this a particular name. In this case, let's say top, and it should save it in the active folder, which is a small table project. You can change projects here and change folders down here. Click on save, and up here the name should change. I'm going to close my data panel now, and let's create the top. All we need to do is come through and choose a rectangle tool, either center rectangle, 3-point or 2-point, and this one here you'll notice has a shortcut, so if we wanted to we could just come out and hit R. It'll ask me which plane do I want to draw on, and that depends on your preference. For example, we could actually choose the top plane, and if we were putting a top in here at 500 millimeters, tab 500 millimeters, enter, stop sketch. There's my top, and we can extrude that. Click on your profile, 19 millimeters, hit enter. There's my top done. That's in the top view. You could actually create a rectangle on the right hand side plane, and you could draw the side profile, which in this case is going to be, as you can see, 19 millimeters high, 500 millimeters long. Enter, stop sketch, go home, E for extrude, click on the profile and drag that one out to 500. Enter. Two tops now, both exactly the same, both drawn on a different plane. And we just need one of them, so I'm going to highlight that and delete it. And what we can do here is go to modify, and we can click on some edges and either put on those edges there, top edges, a bit of if I zoom in on that and use this to drag it in, I can put a bit of a chamfer, or I can choose what distance it wants to be. So there's a 5mm one, there's a 10mm one, there's a 1mm one. We can put a nice neat little chamfer on there. I'm just going to go a 3mm one. In fact, I might cancel that and decide that I'd like to have a fillet. So that's a round over. So click, 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 and we can fillet those edges using the same principles. There's a 3mm one, there's a 19mm one, that's the full thickness, 5. Okay, we can adjust that until we get what we want on there. There's a 5mm one. Hit enter when you're happy with it. And there's my top done. Once you've finished, we're going to click into bodies there. We're going to change that so that it's called top. Hit enter. And we're going to change it so that it's no longer just a random body on the page, but it's a component. So create components from bodies, and you'll notice that it's moved out of the bodies into this little section here. It still has a body which is visible, but it is in fact a component now, and that's an important thing to do. After you've done that, click on save, OK, and there's my top done. We're going to go and create the other components. File, new design. I'm going to create a leg, and the leg is going to be created from a rectangle. From the top plane, what does the leg look like from the top? Well, it looks like, if this is a square leg, it's going to be a square, 40 by 40 millimeters, whoops, and hit enter. Stop sketch, E for extrude, click on the profile and drag that up. Okay, this is a long one, so I'm going to put in the distance 481 millimeters. Reason for that is I want the total table height to be 500 millimeters. So when the top sits on that, we add 19 millimeters to 481, and the total height of the table becomes 500. Now you'll notice here that the operation is creating a new body. Click OK. And I can change that body, name it leg, and control click or right click, create components from bodies. There's my leg. Again, you could come through, modify that, maybe on that outside edge. Just put a fillet on there if you like, or on all four of them. I'm not going to for this one, just so you know the option is there. Cancel that. Save. This time this one's called leg. It's in my small table project. I've left an L off there, excuse that. Click on save. And once more, file, new design. This final one is going to be the rails that connect them. We're going to hit R for rectangle. We're going to create it from, again, any plane. We can pick those. Let's create it from the top plane this time. But what does the rail look like from the top? Well, it's going to be 19 millimeters thick. The length of it's going to be 400 millimeters. Hit enter. Zoom out. E for extrude. Click on the profile. 50 millimeters in height. You can't see what's happening there. If I hit enter and go home, for some reason that's not doing it. There we can see the rail has been extruded. Again, go into your bodies. Change that to rail, enter, create components from bodies, and save. This one is going to be called rail. It's in my small table project. Hit save, and that one is done. Now if I'm to open my data panel, I can see within this small table project I've got those three parts, and we're going to pull all those together to create a small table in the next tutorial.